It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice. Looks like psychosis. Life on relationship road. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice. Looks like psychosis. We live on relationship road.
Molly lives in number 15, one of the newly built ground floor flats at the far end of Relationship Road. She's just 23 and lives alone. Her boyfriend Robbie had moved in with her, but when she found out that she was pregnant a few months ago, he moved out and disappeared from her life. She lost the baby not long after finding out that she was pregnant, but by that time everything had gone wrong. Robbie had left her, and her very strict and religious parents had disowned her. Well, disowned her may be a bit dramatic, but they had made it very clear that she was bringing shame on the family, and they would prefer that she didn't visit them while she was pregnant. They said they couldn't bear the questions that might arise from family and friends if anyone found out that she was expecting and not even married. However, Molly is a resilient and intelligent young woman, and she's determined that these things will not drag her down. She has an amazingly supportive grandmother who she loves to bits and has a good job at an accountancy firm. Since the pandemic, she is fortunate to be able to work alone from home. But she misses her grandma, who she usually meets once a week when they share a meal together. Molly is coping with the current situation very well, but sometimes she does feel trapped inside her one-bedroom flat. But she knows that she is lucky compared to so many others. Molly's grandma is totally different to her parents in almost every way, and while she was growing up, it was her grandma that she always went to when she was troubled or upset. She has always been there for her. During the lockdown situation, they contact each other every day by phone, but once a week they play a game called Guess My Name. They both research 3 famous people of their choosing, and by using the information that they have found on the internet, they give each other 3 small clues as to the person's identity. The person trying to guess is then allowed 10 questions, and their opponent has to answer truthfully. Then the guesser gets 3 attempts to guess the name of the other person. Molly smiles as she remembers last week's game, where Grandma had been Neil Armstrong, Florence Nightingale and Spider-Man. She hadn't seen that one coming, and they had laughed so much that evening during their Skype call. The weekly game is a great reprieve from anxiety and isolation, and so far, Grandma is winning hands down. Later that day in the local shop, Paula is buying a few groceries, fags and beers, when she spots Marissa from across the road. She doesn't know her name, but she recognises her straight away. She pretends to be looking at biscuits while she listens to the conversation that Marissa is having with Jimmy, the shopkeeper. It was a terrible shift, but thankfully we are managing to stay on top of things, Paula overhears Marissa say. And are you seeing many new cases every day, asks Jimmy. We are, though not everyone will end up in ICU. What makes it so difficult is that the patients are completely alone, as we aren't allowed to let anyone visit, as it is so contagious. My heart goes out to all the patients and to those at home who are waiting to hear news about them. Well, I think you are very brave doing that job, says Jimmy, wiping down the card reader after Marissa has paid. Someone has to do it, and it might as well be me, laughs Marissa as she picks up her shopping and leaves. Paula takes her basket to the till, chats briefly with Jimmy and then rushes home. Sean, she says as she dumps the shopping down. Guess who I saw in the corner shop? I dunno, says Sean, only vaguely interested. The nurse from across the road who lives with Mary, and guess what? She continues without waiting for a response. She's foreign, Spanish maybe. So she isn't her sister, is she? And I've just had a thought. What if she is one of those asymptomatic people? What do you mean asymptomatic? You and your fancy bloody words. Who do you think you are? Why don't you speak proper English like the rest of us? Says Sean harshly. Paula is reminded once again that Sean and herself come from very different walks in life. He hates it when she uses words that he doesn't understand. Over the years she has tried to keep her vocabulary fairly basic, but occasionally she slips up and that always makes him mad. It wasn't so bad when her mum was there. He didn't shout as much then. Perhaps he thought he couldn't, as it was her mum's house that they were both living in. But since her mum died last year, things have got worse between herself and Sean. Or maybe she just didn't see it before. Some days she thinks she hates him, and sometimes she just doesn't care. Today she is just annoyed and says to him, asymptomatic means that she may not have any symptoms, but she could still be carrying the virus. Sean turns away. Why would he care about that? His world revolves around his mates, the pub and sport. That world has got a whole lot smaller of late, and it is making him more and more irritable. Though Paula suspects that he has no idea just how miserable and snappy he is. Paula puts the shopping away, opens another pack of fags and a can of beer. There's nothing I can do about it, she tells herself. That's what she always does when she is overcome by helplessness. One day I will deal with it, but not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be better, she thinks. If you have something you would like to share, or a concern you would like addressed, please send it in and we will try and incorporate it into the future storylines. Tune in again for the next episode of Relationship Road.
Welcome to Relationship Road, where people live just like me and you, alone or together in all kinds of weather, and most of them are scared of this flu. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. What kind of neighbor am I? Am I doing my bit for the road? My parents are elderly, my children disorderly, the whole world is suddenly slow. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. And if you need me, let me know, and I will be the first to show. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. The future, well, nobody knows, but we'll do our best till then, I suppose. I've got my friends and my family, no place that I'd rather be. I'm learning to go with the flow. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. And if you need me, let me know, and I will be the first to show. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice looks like psychosis. Life on relationship road. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice. Looks like psychosis. We live on relationship road.